Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Caitlin McCarthy coming to you live from our digital studios. Hopefully you're home this weekend, staying warm in this frigid winter weather. Our 19 First Alert team is tracking more lake effect snow and more freezing temperatures. Let's bring in meteorologist Erica Page. She is tracking all of this for us. And Erica, today felt like the first day I didn't have to remove all the snow off of my car. It felt warmer, ironically, only in the 30s, and it's warmer, but that's about to drop a lot these next couple days. Is that right?
It is. So yeah, today, especially through the first half of the day, we were sitting right around the mid-30s, and that's why it took a while for us to actually see the big transition from some of the rain and the wintry mix that we saw earlier this morning, and then eventually to all of that snow. So we will see more snow develop later tonight. Lake effect snow is the big reason why we've issued another 19 First Alert weather day for tomorrow. So that means we've got a string of 4 days here where we're going to have some pretty active weather. Doesn't necessarily mean it's always going to equate to snow. Eventually, as we kind of get into tomorrow night and into the early part of this next week, the big story, as we've been highlighting pretty much for a week now, it will be that Arctic cold air. But let's talk about tomorrow first, since that was the newer addition to the 19 First Alert weather days. If you live in Cuyahoga Lake, Geauga, Ashtabula County, earlier this afternoon, your phone went off because we had winter weather advisories that were issued. You'll notice the timing. The timing is up in the top left-hand corner of your screen. It's 10 a.m. to about 10 a.m. Sunday to 10 a.m. Monday. I really think it's going to take a little bit more time to actually see these lake effect bands develop. We haven't seen a ton of that development just yet. We knew it was going to take probably about 6 hours, so we even haven't hit that mark, even as we kind of approach the later newscast for tonight. So it's going to take a little bit of time. In the meantime, one thing I do want to stress, no matter where you're at, the fact that we had the warmer temperatures earlier today, a little bit of that mist and kind of freezing drizzle earlier this afternoon, it does mean we will have to watch for some slick spots. So please be careful on the roads, even if you're outside of this winter weather advisory late tonight into early tomorrow morning, because things are slick. Sidewalks, driveways, roads, you're going to notice a little bit of sliding probably, especially as you're kind of tapping that brake a little bit more as we kind of head through the overnight hours. Otherwise, in terms of snowfall, with just this lake effect, it's mainly looking 3 to 6 inches, depending on where that band sets up. Obviously, if the band sets up across your neighborhood a little bit longer, you have a better chance of erring on the higher side of these snowfall totals. The farther west you are, more specifically, mainly the western half of Cuyahoga County, you're going to see those totals drop off pretty significantly unless we get that band to shift a little farther westward. I'm not seeing that in the data just yet, so I wouldn't necessarily bank on that happening, but you will have a chance to see snow no matter where you're at across Northeast Ohio. This is the beginnings of that lake effect band. Again, we need it to continue to develop a little farther to the south, pick up some moisture off of Lake Erie, so we've still got some time before that gets going. This system down towards Oklahoma and some of the rain that you see out across the Appalachians, this is what's going to develop into a bigger system tomorrow, and as it slowly works through the south and up to the northeast, it will enhance snowfall totals here locally as we kind of go through the day. So you'll see that in your future view, at least over the next couple of hours. It's really just focused on where we have that more persistent band trying to develop. And so that's going to stay mainly into our primary snow belt headed into late tonight, early tomorrow morning. But what you're going to see is it's not just going to be this band by tomorrow. You get a little bit of enhancement. You kind of see that system just passing us by to the south. That's what's going to help bring up a lot more widely scattered snow showers as we go through the day tomorrow. So no matter where you are, you have the potential to pick up on some light snowfall as that system continues to lift up across the northeast. Otherwise, lake effect snow is still going to be a big talker for us headed into tomorrow evening. You're seeing those winds change direction northwesterly. Eventually that becomes more westerly, and that's going to steer all of this lake effect into our primary snow belt headed into early Monday morning. So we're not done with the snow chances just yet by that point, but just keep in mind your chances are going to be a bit more isolated the more we get into the early part of this next week. So in terms of widespread snow tomorrow, outside of our snow belt, outside of basically where we have the winter weather advisories in effect, you'll see totals pretty marginal, about a ½ inch to an inch, but it doesn't take much. You've already got that little light glaze of icing likely in some spots. Add the snow to it, you're going to be dealing with some slick travel conditions across the area. Then our attention, headed into tomorrow night, turns towards more of the cold air. So we have those extreme cold watches in effect still all across Northeast Ohio. The National Weather Service has not upgraded that just yet. It would either be upgraded to the extreme cold warning, which there are thresholds to meet. If it's going to be an extreme cold warning, you have to have wind chills 25 degrees below zero or colder for that to be issued. So we'll see if they err on that side. I think most definitely, if we don't get that, we're definitely getting the cold weather advisory. And I think this is more so, honestly, where we're going to see most of our criteria sit through the duration of this event. And that would be -15 to about -24. So you're cold, you're really, really cold. You may just not be quite to the threshold that we would need for the extreme cold warning. Again, that is all up to the National Weather Service. We'll see what they end up issuing. But just to give you an idea kind of where some of these wind chills will sit, this is during the afternoon hours, so keep that in mind. This is about 4 o'clock in the afternoon each and every one of these days, because theoretically that's when your wind chill is going to be a little bit warmer. You'll see Monday, pretty brutal, -15 to -5 is going to be the trend for both Monday as well as Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we start to improve a little bit, but the morning is what's going to be pretty brutal for us, because we have another little Arctic front that looks like it kind of tries to pass through late Tuesday, headed into early Wednesday, and that's going to dip those wind chill values likely into the -20 degree range to get Wednesday morning started. So you've heard the team talking about this pretty much all throughout this entire week. I know schools are out because of MLK Day on Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, I would not be shocked if students were also out of school just because of the dangerous cold air that's still going to be in place. Big improvements once we get into late Wednesday afternoon, early into your Thursday, especially with the wind chills, and you'll see that reflected in your temperatures as well. So a quick look at that 7-day forecast. I know it's a lot to digest here over the next couple of days, but really kind of once we get past Wednesday, things do quiet down significantly for us. I'm not saying that it's going to be the warmest stretch that we've ever seen. We're still going to be well below average for this time of the year, but at least we're not going to be dealing with the brutally cold wind chills, and we get a little bit of a break from some of the snowier activity, which is still possible Monday to Tuesday. And big question I've gotten a lot is, what about lake ice? How is that going to impact any lake effect that we'll see? Problem is, today was warm, yesterday was warm. It's melted a lot of the ice away. Not all of it. There's still some ice concentration out there. The last I saw, I think we're sitting at about 26% or so ice coverage over Lake Erie. So there's some. It's just not enough to cut off the lake effect snow machine just yet. So we are keeping some slight chances for lake effect snow in Monday, potentially into Tuesday as well. There's a little system that comes in that may have some other opportunities to bring in some snow to the area. But again, beyond that point, I have a feeling we're going to see a lot more ice coverage out over the lake, and that may eventually start kind of closing down some of the best opportunities for us to see, you know, those really impressive bands set up in terms of lake effect snow coverage. So lots to track, but certainly I think it's the dangerous cold really more so that's going to be kind of the bigger headline that we're going to be watching headed into early next week.
Yeah, so important, Erica, to bundle up this week. Make sure you have a warm, safe place to stay. We will also have updates on warming centers in our area: Summit, Cuyahoga County, Portage, Stark County, anywhere northeast Ohio. There's warming centers. We will definitely update the 19 News app, our website, but also on air. And we can't stress this enough. Erica, you and the team do incredible work, have real-time updates, live radar on the 19 First Alert weather app. You can use that throughout this cold stretch. Again, your safety is the most important thing to us. So, Erica, we're going to check back in with you in about 30 minutes on CW 43 and again at 11 o'clock. And of course, we will keep you updated on the 19 News app. Have a good night, everyone.
19 News is everywhere. Download our